This is a true story about a Spanish con named Lucio Urtubia who looted money from banks using different kinds of frauds including forged checks and printing fake currencies. Please subscribe to this channel to enjoy this type of content. Let's begin with the story. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Lucio was in Spain airport with a bag full of fake currency. His life partner Annie was along with him. Annie saw police officer Inspector Costello, who was looking for them, and alerted Lucio. Costello soon found them and started running towards them, but Lucio and Annie threw some fake notes in the air, which caught school kids' attention nearby. They lured the police and flew from the scene. Then we see 20 years earlier than this day. Young Lucio was running away from a man who was behind him carrying a gun. The man fired at him, but he managed to escape. Lucio's father was on his deathbed when he asked Lucio to arrange some money for medicines. Looking worried, Lucio took a knife and left for the bank. He requested the bank manager to lend him some money, but the manager refused to do it without a proper guarantee. Lucio pointed a knife at the bank manager and tried to rob the bank, but he was afraid that he peeked in his pants in the bank. The bank manager asked him to leave. Lucio threw the knife at the bank and left for home. His father died and people were on the way to bury the dead body. After this, Lucio came to see his sister, whose name was Saturnina. She was preparing to leave for a job in the city. Lucio requested her to take him along, but Nina replied that he must do the military job for a few years, which is necessary for Spanish people. 10 years later, Lucio was a young man now who flew from the military camps and went to see his sister Nina. She was very happy to meet her brother after so many years. Lucio told her that he looted boots, blankets, and other things while in the military, and that he has left his military job. Nina advised him to go back to the military and get a proper legal leave, but Lucio did not agree. Patrick arrived, who was the husband of Nina and was employed at the Mint of Spain. Lucio asked if he can get a chance to work there. Patrick told him that he will talk to one of his supervisor's friends at the Mint. Lucio was now working at a construction site. The supervisor asked him to work at a slow pace, but he denied it. The supervisor was angry at him and said that there are rules to work at this place, and the rules are made by the seniors working at this place. He pointed towards Germinal, who was also a senior worker there. Germinal, along with other laborers, was talking to Lucio about his attitude. Lucio was the kind of person who does not accept orders from others. He uses to deny orders and fight for them. Germinal was showing him paintings of people on the walls and telling him that they are all anarchists. They denied orders and fought against them. Lucio replied that he will be a stronger anarchist than all of them combined. Then he had a little fight with the policemen when they were distributing the posters of being anarchists for awareness, and then he fled from there with his friends. Their thinking was that the banks are the biggest thieves and they have to be robbed. So, they decided to rob banks to support the anarchist. Lucio, Asturiano, and Germinal were together in the car. Germinal introduced his best friend Quico Sabate to Lucio, who was also an anarchist, and told him that he stole 50,000 from the bank and distributed it in the anarchist community. Quico reached to meet Lucio at his residence. Germinal told Lucio that he is hungry and to arrange for him some food. Quico pointed a knife at him and gave him a lesson to never trust a stranger in the past. Lucio offered him some food and introduced themselves while eating sausages. Quico told him about his robbery and that he stole only 30,000, but the bank doubled the amount to claim the insurance money. They were against the banks and were sharing their thoughts. Quico then took his guns from his bag and went to rob the bank with Lucio. They were taking tea outside the bank when he told him about his childhood bank robbery that went very bad. Both entered the bank, and Quico was very aggressive with the staff while Lucio did the same thing that he did in the past. His pants were wet, and Quico came to him to motivate him that they are real thieves here. Lucio then jumped inside the cower and took a lot of money in the bags. Both were running after the robbery when Lucio slipped and fell on the floor, throwing his gun far from him. A bank employee tried to take the advantage of the situation, but Quico stopped him, and both were free now. They left the site in a taxi and reached home. They hid their weapons in the fireplace and divided the money into 3 parts. The first part for the movement and the local anarchists, the second part for the community people in prison and their families, and the third part for themselves. They wanted to enjoy their achievement with some good food and drinks. Then they decided to arrange for a driver because they can't be running in the local transport and taxis after this day. Asturiano joined as the driver and the third member of the gang. He was waiting for Lucio and Quico outside the bank where they were robbing it. A policeman was passing by when Asturiano caught his attention and hit him with the door when his friends were running out of the bank. The policeman fired a bullet at them when they were running in the car, hitting the rear windscreen of the car and breaking it into pieces. They were safe, however. Another police car started following them, and Quico started firing at the tire of the car, stopping it. They were happy about their successful second robbery. Inspector Costello was getting ready at his house when a lady came to tell him that there's been a bank robbery in the 6th district, and the robbers were some foreigners as they had a different accent. On the other hand, Lucio and Quico were distributing the looted money in the community. Costello was at the bank when the manager told him that they have stockings on their face, and it is difficult to identify them. Lucio and Quico were at some place when police raided there and arrested Lucio. Lucio was brought in for voice recognition among other people arrested. The bank manager recognized his voice, and the police brought him to his place for searching. Police found nothing special, and Lucio was allowed to go freely. Costello told him that you are the man I am looking for, and I will get you as soon as you make a mistake. Lucio was again working as a laborer when a police car was outside their work site. His friends said to Lucio that the police are there because of him, and he had to leave these robberies as he will end up in jail soon. Lucio met Quico and told him to stop robberies and start getting people through print media into the anarchist community. Quico did not agree to quit robberies, but Lucio decided to quit what he had done in the past. They happily parted ways, and Lucio approached a bank manager for a loan to buy a printing press. The manager denied their request, that they won't be getting the loan as they have no fixed income. Costello stopped him outside the bank and told him that Quico was killed in the crossfire after an attempted robbery. He went to a graveyard with Asturiano to take their weapons, and then robbed the same bank in the honor of Quico. They then bought a printing press to aware the people of being anarchist. He met Jeanette there and asked about her experience at the printing press. Jeanette told him that she is doing this since she was 14 years old and was able to work on all the printing machines used in the press. Germinal was at the printing press and told Lucio that this printing press should be handled by the union, but Lucio denied it as he was an anarchist. Germinal threatened both Asturiano and Lucio to face the consequences and left. Annie and her friend came to pick up pamphlets for their university strike and invited Lucio to join them. Lucio joined the strike and met Anne, where they both introduced themselves and soon became friends. Police came there to stop the strike and threw smoke shells to disperse the people. Lucio told Annie that he robbed banks to support his community. They started loving each other and hanging out while the police were keeping an eye on them. Police were taking their pictures when their senior came and told them that they don't have any proof against Lucio and that they should not make him their priority and work on the other pending cases. They heard in the news that tensions between America and Cuba are rising, and America can invade Cuba at any moment soon. Lucio was an anti-American and started thinking about ways to help Cuban government against America. Jeanette told them that they can print anything in the press like fake documents, passports, and even fake currency. Lucio hired his brother-in-law Patrick, who worked at a mint in the past. Patrick promised to work for them but was afraid that his wife Nina will be very angry if she knew about it. They started printing dollars and even converted them into local currency from the banks. They planned to flood so many fake American dollars into the banks and the world to destroy the economy of the United States. He then visited the Cuban embassy in Spain to propose to them his idea to bring down the economy of the United States of America. He requested to speak to Castro about this but was denied, knowing that all their communication is being monitored. However, he was told that Castro will visit the embassy in the coming days, and he can talk to him directly. Lucio came to visit the embassy to meet Castro after a few days. He met him and proposed his plan, but Castro denied his plan, saying that America is too strong and rich to be brought down by the fake currency, and this is not going to happen. Lucio left and was spotted by the police. Inspector Costello spotted him, but Lucio was successful in getting out from there. He was then spotted and arrested outside the embassy. He ended up in jail and spent a few months there. Her wife gave birth to a daughter when Lucio was in jail. Lucio was out of jail and again started working as a laborer in a company where he was given a paycheck instead of cash. The cashier told him that he can exchange this check at any bank in the world or any shop. Lucio went out shopping with his family, and his check was exchanged for money at a local store. This gave him a new idea to make fake checks and exchange them for cash from any bank, even supermarkets. Patrick told them that forging checks is more difficult than dollars. Lucio defended that it is possible, and he checked that the punishment for forging checks is minimal than fake dollars. They decided to rob the City Bank, which was the biggest bank in America at that time. He requested Patrick to help them make printing plates, and then he will be free to go. They were successful soon, and started printing fake checks and converting them for cash also. It was hard to catch them red-handed, because check serials can only be matched when they are received by the City Bank in America. They printed 100 copies of each serial and used them at different branches at the same time. Spanish banks were not able to verify the originality of the checks. Their fake check game was costing millions to the City Bank, and then the bank decided to take action by sending their employee Mr. Barrow to Spain and investigate and urge the Spanish police to arrest the people behind this scam as soon as possible. Mr. Barrow was in Spain, and Inspector Costello asked Lucio if he was behind all this, but Lucio denied it, saying that he is happy if this is happening to an American bank. Police were keeping an eye on Lucio, and in the meanwhile, Anne was thinking of leaving Spain and carrying on her medical career. Lucio requested her to help him with his last move. He tried to sell the forged checks to an American for 1/3 of the original price. Annie refused to do so. Police were continuously keeping an eye on him. He somehow managed to make a deal and left for his final card. Annie left to board the plane, and Lucio was on his way to execute his final plan. They were at the location where bags of forged checks and cash were supposed to be exchanged. Lucio was moving to the dealer when Costello along with his men caught him red-handed. Lucio was in the investigation room where he requested to meet Mr. Barrow. On the other hand, the Citibank was receiving forged checks from different countries. Mr. Barrow met Lucio, and Lucio offered him a deal that the bank should let him go and withdraw cases on him, and also give him some money as a golden handshake. In return, he will hand over the printing plates to the bank, and the bank will stop getting fake checks from all over the world, which will cost them millions of dollars, and the bank must give him handsome compensation. Mr. Barrow was confused and agreed to this deal after talking to his superiors. Lucio was a free man now, and he joined his family in Bolivia. And the movie ends here. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you.